You're making $50,000 a year, watch this video because I'm sharing your step-by-step blueprint to locking in your millionaire status and making 2024 the year you finally got your financial shit together. Don't believe you can become a millionaire with a $50K salary? Think again. I went from making $50,000 a year to becoming a millionaire at 30 years old. Since then, I become a top financial coach and published author teaching others how it's done. So to get into the math of this, we're going to need to make some assumptions. Those will be that you are 25 years old, you have $2,000 in credit card debt, and your income tax rate is 24.8%. So right off the top, we have your $50,000 a year salary. Unfortunately, not all of that's yours. We need to pay Uncle Sam. So if your income tax bracket is 24.8%, you have your $50,000 a year salary. The taxes come out to $12,400, and that leaves you with net income of $37,600. This is what you're going to use to live on and build your wealth. The next thing we need to calculate are going to be your fixed expenses. These are the things that stay the same pretty much every month. These are things like your rent, your groceries, your loan payments, and your utilities. A good rule of thumb is your fixed expenses should be less than 50 to 60% of your net income. Remember this number right here. Now, since we are working towards millionaire status, we want to cut our expenses as much as possible without sacrificing our lifestyle. This is so we have more money to put to work for us, and more on that soon. Now, let's say you use the strategies that I share in some of my other videos and you negotiate your rent, you negotiate your debt, you negotiate your bills. This way you get those fixed expenses to less than 50% of your net income. Again, don't get hung up here. This is all stuff that I teach my students, and it is so much easier than you think. At 50% of your net income, that's going to bring your fixed expenses to $18,800 for the year, or bi-weekly, that's going to be about $723. We're doing this bi-weekly because typically people get paid every 2 weeks. Now, this money right here, this is what you're going to be using to enjoy your life and get rich. Now, here's the secret sauce. Most people are going to see this money, they're going to spend it on what they want, and then save and invest whatever's left over. This will never build you wealth because you are actually paying your future self last in that scenario. Instead, we want to pay our future selves first. To do this, you're going to set up automatic transfers from your account every time you get paid into your goals accounts. Take your brain out of it so we can take self-sabotage out of it as well. Now, what should your goals be? The number one goal should always be finding ways to enjoy your life while building wealth. When I started working towards becoming a millionaire, I still traveled, I still shopped, I still ate out. But I followed my principle of WPM, or why pay more, which is essentially if I can get the same benefit for less, then why would I pay more for it? This helped me save a ton of money without feeling restricted. Because the worst thing for your bank account is for you to feel like you can't have something because it's just gonna make you want it even more. That's where self-sabotage comes in. And we don't do restriction here. Instead, right off the bat, I want you to think about taking roughly 1/3 of that money and spending it on fun. So let's say that comes out to about $200 bi-weekly, leaving us with $523 to put towards our other goals. Now you may be thinking, Nicole, in this scenario, don't you have credit card debt? Shouldn't that be a priority? And I agree, those interest rates are criminal and it has to go, but first we need to build you a safety net to prevent you from going into more debt in the future. Without the safety net, debt just becomes a vicious cycle. So what you're actually going to do first is open a high yield savings account. In Canada, I like EQ Bank. In the US, I like Ally. This is like a regular schmegular savings account, except it's going to pay you more money. And it's going to be separate from your everyday spending, so you are not tempted to put money into your savings and then transfer it right back over to your checking. Before you start working towards any of your other goals, you are going to save up $1,000 in this account. This is going to be your baby emergency fund. You're going to save this for 6 weeks. You're going to put $333 every time you get paid to build that up. After you build that up to be $1,000, you're going to start transferring $100 every 2 weeks into this high yield savings account for your emergency fund. You're going to do this until this account has 3 to 6 months of bare bones expenses in it. Now, once your baby emergency fund is saved, that's when we're going to start beefing up those payments to that credit card, getting that credit card balance down. We're also going to do this bi-weekly, and it's going to be $200 every time you get paid. Doing this will pay off that $2,000 balance in about 6 months with about $112 in interest paid if you're at about 19% interest. Now, if we have about $300 bi-weekly going to our emergency fund and our debt, that means we've got approximately $450 a month that we can play with to start building our wealth. How are you going to do that? You're going to open an account with a brokerage. In Canada, I like Wealthsimple and Questrade, and in the US, I like Vanguard and Fidelity. If you're making $50,000 a year, your best bet for the type of account that you're going to open is probably a TFSA in Canada and a Roth IRA in the United States. This is because of the tax bracket that you are in. The great thing about these accounts that I just mentioned is that they grow your money tax-free. So next, you're going to set up an automatic transfer for $450 a month into that account that you just opened. You're going to buy something like an index fund or an asset allocation fund or a target date fund. You're going to leave this alone. You're going to let it grow. You're going to let the transfers keep going there. And this will lock in your millionaire status with just a few clicks, because that $450 a month will grow into over $1 million in just over 30 years, with almost $860,000 of that being free money. This will allow you to retire early, a millionaire, and not have to pay any taxes on that money that you made. And once your debt is repaid and that emergency fund is built, you have more money to play around with. You can redirect that money towards other goals like home buying or travel, or you can put it into your investments, because every additional dollar you save and invest will just get you to millionaire status sooner. What scenario should I do next? Tell me in the comments. P.S. We are relaunching our highly successful free investing masterclass. We are dubbing this the ultimate investing masterclass because we are including all of the amazing value from before, plus the best times to invest, the best investments to make, sample investing portfolios, how to have your money now and not have to wait until you're old to get it, and so much more. This is only going to be available for a limited time, and even if you've taken it before, there is so much new value here, guys. Don't miss out on this. Go and grab your spot right now through our link in bio.